Sometimes a traffic stop turns into something far more serious than anyone expected. In this case, a routine police stop quickly escalated into a felony charge, evading arrest with a vehicle. A third-degree felony that carries a possible punishment of 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. That's not a minor charge. When someone drives away after police activate their lights and give lawful commands, the law treats it as a serious threat to public safety. But the situation becomes even more complicated in this courtroom hearing. The defendant claims she didn't feel safe getting out of her vehicle, while the police report paints a very different picture, describing a pursuit, repeated commands to exit the vehicle, and ultimately officers breaking the car window to remove her. So now the court has to determine what really happened that night and whether the defendant is accepting responsibility for her actions. But here's the twist. Instead of sending her directly to prison, the court is considering deferred adjudication, a type of probation that allows someone to avoid a permanent conviction if they successfully complete the conditions. The question is, does the defendant truly understand the seriousness of what happened, or is there more to this story than what she's telling the court?
He asked you to step out of the vehicle. They end up having to break your window once you pulled over again.
No, I pulled over. I just didn't feel safe to get out of my vehicle.
All right, the court is calling 2025 CR 003690, State versus Mia Ray Hermio Herrera. Could I have parties announced?
Deputy Pitlar for the state of Texas, Your Honor.
John Sandheimer for Miss Herrera.
All right, and probation, this is an application. Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor, I have.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Herrera, did you review the application for deferred adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do so waive it.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Herrera, did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
At this stage of the hearing, the judge carefully walks the defendant through her constitutional rights before accepting the plea agreement. This process is extremely important in criminal law because entering a plea means giving up several major rights, including the right to a jury trial, the right to cross-examine witnesses, and the right to remain silent. Here, the plea agreement includes deferred adjudication, along with conditions like a treatment evaluation, defensive driving classes, community supervision, and community service hours. Deferred adjudication can be a valuable opportunity because it allows someone to complete probation and potentially avoid a final conviction on their record. But there's something crucial viewers should understand. Deferred adjudication is not the same as being found innocent. The court still finds enough evidence that the defendant likely committed the offense. It simply postpones the final judgment while the defendant proves they can follow the law moving forward. In other words, it's a second chance, but it comes with strict expectations.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with evading arrest, detention with a vehicle? That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in, the right to remain silent. Did you understand by entering this plea you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Your Honor.
Ms. Herrera, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, the state recommends deferred adjudication. There's to be a TAP evaluation, follow whatever recommendations. MRT and defensive driving. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Judge.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
There has not, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community service be for your community supervision be for a term of 2 years, and there be 100 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
State offers State's Exhibit 1 and all attachments at this time, Your Honor.
No objections, Judge.
All right, state, you may be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
Yes.
All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor.
Now the judge
Anything you wish-
begins digging into the details of what actually happened during the traffic stop, and this is where the hearing becomes much more intense. According to the police report, the officer asked the defendant to step out of the vehicle, but she refused. When officers insisted, she allegedly rolled up her window and drove away, forcing police to pursue her before she eventually stopped again. The defendant's explanation is very different. She claims she did pull over, but didn't feel safe exiting the vehicle. That raises an interesting legal and emotional question. Feeling uncomfortable during a police encounter is something many people can relate to, but the law still requires drivers to follow lawful commands during a traffic stop. The judge reads directly from the police report describing how the officer had to draw his weapon and eventually break the car window to get her out. That's a dramatic escalation, and it suggests the situation had become extremely serious. At this point, the judge is trying to figure out whether the defendant is fully acknowledging what happened or minimizing the situation.
We are, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
At this time, no, Your Honor.
All right, so why didn't you pull over?
I did pull over.
No, evading arrest detention in the vehicle is when officers, ask you to pull over, and they signify this by putting on lights behind your vehicle and asking you to pull over. So the officer in the police report said that he asked you to step out of the vehicle and you took off. And then finally, they end up having to break your window once you pulled over again. So do you not remember this night?
No, I pulled over. I just didn't feel safe to get out of my vehicle.
Well, no, that's not what the police report says. Have you read the police report?
Yes.
What it says is, they do the normal, he's driving, he approached your vehicle and gave you the reason for why he was stopping you, asked for your information. You gave him your phone and I copied down our information. I then asked her for insurance. While your window was rolled down, he says there was a very strong odor of marijuana. I told AP I had to return to my vehicle and that I would be back. He contacted his supervisor, and then he gave you more instructions. You refused to follow his instructions. You rolled up your window. He said, hey, I'm going to add more charges. You need to exit the vehicle. You refused and you drove away. I immediately contacted dispatch and informed them of the situation. I returned to my vehicle and started following AP with my emergency red and blue overhead lights and siren on. You continue to travel, and he actually puts in here every street that you pass. And then you finally pull over, and he asks you to step out. You didn't. And then he had to draw his weapon. You still wouldn't step out of the vehicle. And he told you, I'm going to have to break this window to get you out of the vehicle. You said, nope, not getting out of my vehicle. And then he ends up having to break your window. So I don't understand what you mean you were not evading. I mean, if you feel as though you're not evading and you want a jury trial, you're welcome to have a jury trial.
I'm content with where we're at as far as like,
So why didn't you, the officer had pulled you over, he wanted your license, your insurance. Why didn't you remain there, give him all the information? What was going on with you? Were you using drugs? Were you intoxicated? What was going on? I'm trying to figure out so I can set appropriate conditions for your probation.
I didn't feel comfortable or safe with the officer. I understand that me driving away was not the best decision. It wasn't the correct decision. And I understand if there's ever a point that I don't feel safe around an officer, that's not the approach to take. I truly just did not feel safe with that officer.
All right, and if you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
And
you're
hearing takes another important turn when the judge asks a very straightforward question. If you're drug tested today, what will the results show? This question often appears in probation hearings because courts want to evaluate whether someone is currently following the law and staying clean. And the defendant's answer here is revealing. She admits that the test will likely be positive for marijuana, explaining that she hasn't smoked in the past 2 weeks, but isn't sure how long the substance stays in the system. In that moment, the judge connects the dots with the police report. The officer said there was a strong odor of marijuana coming from the vehicle during the traffic stop. That detail suddenly makes the officer's suspicion seem much more credible. From the judge's perspective, this helps explain why the officer might have been giving firm commands to exit the vehicle. This moment highlights a key reality of courtroom proceedings. Statements made during hearings can unintentionally confirm evidence already written in police reports.
So today, what are the results going to be? And you're going to get drug tested today.
I haven't smoked within the past 2 weeks, so it's going to be positive, I'm assuming, because I don't know how long it takes to get out of your system.
So the officer was right when he said he smelled marijuana in your vehicle. Now the next thing, do you have any children?
No, ma'am.
Are you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do?
I'm a server.
Despite the seriousness of the charge, the judge ultimately decides to grant the defendant 2 years of deferred adjudication, which is essentially probation with strict conditions. This decision gives the defendant a chance to avoid a permanent conviction, but only if she follows every rule the court lays out. Those rules are extensive. The defendant must submit to random drug testing, verify employment within 30 days, complete 100 hours of community service, and provide proof of a valid driver's license and insurance before driving again. The court also orders monthly field visits from probation officers and restricts certain types of employment, including work involving minors. What makes this moment interesting is that the judge also asks the defendant about her future goals. When she says she wants to become a flight attendant, the judge actually ties her community service requirement to that goal, saying the hours could be satisfied if she achieves that career path. It's an unusual moment that shows the judge trying to encourage long-term change rather than simply handing down punishment.
Where?
At Omiya, it's a sushi restaurant.
Oh, sushi. Do you make any of the sushi or you just serve?
I serve.
Okay. All right. This is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 2 years deferred adjudication, regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's going to be regular random UAs. Let them know that they need to test for levels. After today, there's to be no driving until you present a valid driver's license and insurance to probation. There's going to be field visits one time per month for 3 months. Proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. There's to be 100 hours of community service restitution. How far did you go in school?
High school?
All right, what are you planning on? What are you planning on doing with the rest of your life? What's your dream job?
A flight attendant.
All right. So there's 100 hours of community service restitution. If you become a flight attendant, your community service hours will be deemed satisfied. So you need to start making plans on how you can do that.
Thank
My
you.
understanding is you sometimes get free travel.
I have a question.
Yes.
I've applied to be a flight attendant with this current situation going on. I guess I probably should do my own research on it, but is
Yes.
this something that, like, after the deferred probation happens?
Well, what I can tell you is this is on your record. You need to discuss with your attorney, perhaps about non-disclosures or whether or not it can be removed from your record, expungements. Okay?
Okay.
Probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
And just so I understand, the 100 hours, if I become a flight attendant, I don't do them, or I
Yes.
still have to do them?
No, if you complete that, you're off to the friendly skies.
So,
That's much
So,
better, Judge.
Otherwise, you can do the 100 hours. They usually will put you in the sun picking up paper.
is the 100-hour, or do I have like the 2 years to figure out to become a flight attendant? Is that what-
Yes.
Okay.
All right, is there anything else?
Just one last thing, Your Honor. In discussions with the state is not going to, I just want to place it on the record, the state is not going to oppose an early termination application if we should so apply.
By the end of this
Thank you.
hearing, the court delivers a decision that balances accountability with opportunity. Instead of immediate prison time, the defendant receives 2 years of deferred adjudication, strict supervision conditions, and the chance to move forward without a permanent felony conviction if she successfully completes probation. But the judge makes it clear that this opportunity comes with responsibility. Random drug testing, employment verification, community service, and probation monitoring will all play a role in determining whether she can stay out of further legal trouble. Cases like this highlight an important aspect of the justice system. Courts often try to create pathways for rehabilitation while still enforcing the law. Deferred adjudication is designed exactly for that purpose, offering someone a second chance while still holding them accountable for their actions. Now we want to hear from you. Do you think the judge made the right decision by giving probation instead of prison time? Or should evading police with a vehicle always result in harsher consequences? If you found this courtroom breakdown interesting, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom stories and legal
We should so apply.
breakdowns.
All right.
Thank you,
Thank
Your
you.
Honor.
All right, did you review the trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court. If there is some issues you have, or you're confused about anything, let your probation officer know. If you feel as though they're not addressing it, you can always come back to the court.
Okay. Am I able to give them the car insurance and the ID today?
You'll speak to probation and they will let you know.
Okay.
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Your Honor,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much. I appreciate you.
All
May I
right,
appreciate
you. Have a good one.
You as well, Judge.
All righty.